Had an unseasonably warm late November here in Portland, and the last couple of days we've seen high temperatures in the 60s, and the bees are just absolutely loving it. Getting out, doing their cleansing flights. Have been, when we have had rain and cooler weather recently, it's been pretty much them hunkering down inside. But this morning they're out actually much earlier than normal, and you can see we got a little bit of blue up above. The sun's pretty low in the sky. Yeah, so I just wanted to share that. Great news. Everything that we've done, I think, so far this season has worked out pretty well. I still have my elevated platform going on here that I talked about earlier in the season. And what I've been doing for the last week and a half, 2 weeks, is a late season formic acid treatment to try to kill off any residual varroa mites, and I think it's been effective. They say these patties, which contain concentrated formic acid, only are effective above 55 or 60. So you can see if you look in there, the dark brown bits are mite, dead mites, and then the lighter stuff is just, off byproducts of comb production and carrying pollen into the hive and whatnot. But the other thing that's really cool, and normally what I do is I take this and scrape it with my handy dandy knife, drywall knife, which is rusting quite quickly. It's kind of not a good thing. But I haven't opened the hive, I'm thinking in about 3 months, maybe more. And so this lower super, you can see the bees obviously crawling up and down those empty combs to get up into the brood chamber and honey all the way on top. But in years past, out of concern of wax moth infestations and other things, I would often remove this lower third super in late fall, because I'm like, well, they're not using it for anything. But the fact is, it's sort of thermal insulation on its own, and I think it's also just more places for the colony members to hang out, literally. And then here, what I oftentimes will do in the mornings, I'll come take a look and put my hand to the back of the plexiglass to see how much warmth there is. And right now, that's definitely warmer than the ambient temperature, and you can see the main cluster there. I still have yet to see brood, ever hatching from any of these cells that are right, next to the plexiglass. I think the main brood cells must be further inside, because that looks like a combination of pollen and honey here. But yeah, so that's business as usual there. And I think having not opened the hive in quite some time as well means all the gaps have been, long sealed with propolis. And of course, the topmost super is the one that's the most chock full of honey reserves for the winter. And you can still see there's activity. The bees crawling along in here right now. And I'm thinking that's got to be nearly full. But again, I don't know for sure because I haven't messed with it. And I don't want to mess with it because right now, the bees are doing far better at this point in the year than they ever have at any point in the last prior 2 years. So this is year number 3 for us. I had a little fun, I don't know, about a month ago with the roof. I realized it was getting rusty again, so took it off, hit it with the angle grinder, and then welded on a little bit of C-channel, and then tapped in one of these little rod things that I welded together, thinking maybe it'll still come to pass. I imagined songbirds coming to perch on this in the wintertime when there's not much else going on. But yeah, so pretty exciting. See, the bees seem really content. I'm going to get as close as I can here without hopefully bugging them too much. But yeah, they're just here looking closely at them. Doesn't seem like they're coming in. I don't see much pollen, hardly any pollen actually on their legs, but just the sheer numbers that we're seeing of bees this year is so incredibly positive and exciting. So trying not to lose my cool. I got a couple bees that have just landed on my head. They seem to know that I don't mean them any harm. But yeah, it's a pretty exciting day, exciting time of the year. Looking forward to a feast with family, and it should be a beautiful day. The only other thing I might do is take a quick walk around the garden with you guys and see if we could spot any remaining pollinating plants that are currently blooming that the bees would be working to pollinate, getting some nectar or pollen from. Tracy, my wife, seemed to think that over here we have some arbutus that I think it's called strawberry bush also. You can see these are the shrubs next to our deck, and they are currently in bloom. These little white flowers look a little bit like blueberries almost. Hummingbirds, when they're really desperate, feed on these. And I thought I saw, oh yeah, here we go, up top high. If you look closely, I don't know if the camera's going to catch that. It looks like the bees are exploring here. Whether they're actually getting nectar from those, it's hard to say. It looks like, yeah, I think they are. Oh yeah, there we go. I think I see one right up top. See if I can zoom in on that. See that? Oh, they just flew away, damn. So yeah, it does seem to me though that this is a viable source of late season pollen for them, arbutus. And I apologize, I don't know what if that's the genus or the species, but here we go. You can get a little view of this girl at work. She's gathering something off of these, it looks like, or trying to. Isn't she? Sure looks like it. Let's see how close we can get without bugging her. She seems to be probing, but I don't know if she's really getting much here. She's definitely, I think, detecting some kind of an aroma that's making her go explore that. Yeah, kind of wonder if perhaps it's an issue of them not having quite a long enough tongue to get in there. But this one, she looks like she's getting something there. Yeah, that may be true. Yeah. And so the arbutus, when it does drop its fruit, it literally looks like strawberries. And I think we're a bit too late in the season to actually see those, but I'm pretty sure we're a bit late for that. So next time. So thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments. Keep them coming. I do appreciate them because I know I'm far from being an expert in this. It's a very wonderful field of knowledge. And we will wish you all a happy Thanksgiving and a prosperous winter, and check in with you at the next interesting chapter in the evolution of our Portland, Oregon beehive.